Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a really good question today that came into the website, and it's really important because it refers to one of the biggest reasons why a lot of us got here to this website, and why I started figuring out this new swing out of necessity was to get rid of some pain in my lower back. And this one comes to us from Jim Sinclair, and Jim states, I followed the vertical swing technique to our teachings for the past year. The technique seemed easy to learn, and I think I've done well, hitting the ball straighter and with good distance. I'm over 65 and my swing is fairly slow. I walk the course 2 or 3 times a week if weather permits. However, in the last month, I've noticed lower right side back pain. It's not spinal, it's more a muscle pull or cramp. It's persistent and it's starting to affect my swing. Do you have any idea what I am doing wrong? Thank you for any help you can offer, Jim. Okay, now when I get into these subjects, I always cut out and I say I am the swing surgeon, not the back surgeon. And in many cases, when the questions really get intense enough, I send it to Dr. Armstrong, and he usually replies. And like I had where a golfer called in one time, wrote in, and he said, I'm scheduled for back surgery in 2 weeks, and I'm not supposed to even touch a club, but I found your website. I read it. I really liked what I read. I thought it really was great, so I went out, and I wasn't supposed to do it, but I did it. I hit some golf balls, and he said, man, I can't believe it. My back didn't hurt me. And so he says, you think I ought to cancel the surgery? And as again, first thing I wrote back to him is I said, I'm the swing surgeon, not the back surgeon. I sent it to Dr. Armstrong, and Dr. Armstrong wrote back and he said, well, if you swung and hit balls and your body didn't hurt, and in fact felt pretty good, he said, I think that, and you know that you're pretty certain your back is what's causing, your swing was causing those back issues. In the surgery, he said, hey, I think that's a good indicator you don't need it. You might not need it, or at least put it off. Talk to your surgeon, see what he says, and he said, you could, or at least put it off for a while, put it on the back burner, and go ahead, and as long as you keep feeling okay, and even better, keep trying it, keep in touch with your surgeon, and make a good logical decision later on. And he said at the same time, if you're now getting active again, use that to try to get more fit and healthy and everything else, so that you can be doing the things that can take stress off your back and from your other daily things in life, and get better fit. And so that's part of my message here today. Now, I sent this email to Wayne Coolidge, who, as those of you who know, been on the site and seen some of the things I've done with Wayne. He's the swing surgeon director of fitness, health, and nutrition. He has a degree in biomechanics for the fitness part and training part, and he has a degree in health and nutrition, a master's degree in both. And so I sent it to him. But I haven't got an answer yet, but I felt that this was important since Jim is saying he's continuing to play. And I've read it a couple times, but even as I was just reading it now, he said here, it's more a muscle pull or cramp. It's persistent and it's starting to affect my swing. So that, I think, is going to change my answer just a little bit, because somehow I read that 3 or 4 times and it didn't resonate, that sentence. But what I was going to start saying is, anytime something starts to hurt and it starts to get consistent, if it's so to speak just started and it's getting a little bit bigger and bothersome and becoming more from a nuisance to becoming consistent but not really painful yet, I think the thing you got to do is start slowing down. You have to look at probably going on the ice treatment and then heat back and forth or whatever, and see what happens and see if that helps. But I think the key is the fact that it's starting to hurt is a message. Something's not right. The first thing I think that's smart to do is cut back, and that's why I think, like you say, Jim says here, he walks the course, so walking could even be aggravating it a little bit. And I'm sure if you're walking, whether you're carrying your bag or pushing it, that's putting a little bit more strain on your back in between shots. So I think it might be time to take a little time off, get into some type of heat, cold, maybe go get some of those balms you can rub on you, the heat or the patches that you hear about on TV, to get that heat in there and start relaxing the muscles. Because if you have, in fact, strained, stretched, pulled a muscle or whatever, the worse it goes, from just a slight strain or cramps to being slightly pulled or maybe even get into a tear. That's going to take a lot more time. So start taking the time out, do those treatments, and then if you feel really good and you can walk around and take some practice swings in your yard that doesn't hurt, go try it again. If it's gone, then you're okay. But if it's coming back, then I think it's time that at that point it's time to go see a doctor. Whether you go start off with your GP or your internist, or maybe start right at the top with an orthopedic surgeon, go see him. They'll probably take x-rays, take a look, see if there is any tears in the muscles or tendons or ligaments that attach. And so if there's tears, then you're going to have a pretty good vacation to get it healed back up. And very likely they might send you to a PT to get it rehabbed. In the meantime, I would say start doing some minor stretching if you're not doing it. Stretching and flexibility to add that those two ingredients, which will help take stress off it. But I think there's a logical progression. Slow down or even quit for a while. Do the heat and the cold, the bombs, the bombs with the patches you can put on, and give it some rest. And when it feels good, just walking around and maybe swinging a club with no ball, not hitting. If it feels pretty good, go test it again. If it comes back, then I guess we go to stage 2, which is now might be time to seek some professional help with it, and get that straightened out. Because if it is got some tears or whatever, the more you do it, the worse it's going to get. So do it right. Take a little break. Listen to your body. Dr. Armstrong always says that tension, stress, and strain is the prelude to pain. And the best thing is, if you take care of it during the tension, stress, and strain part, you should not ever get to the pain. But if you avoid it all the way to the pain, and sometimes the pain is going to really cost you, because there's some good injuries there that could even involve surgery or really long time rehabs. So take some muscle relaxers, ibuprofen or whatever. But again, you don't want to start taking those things like M&Ms. If you're going to take those every time to play to reduce stress, strain, and tension, then you know that it's time that you're not far from pain. Take care of it, okay? So let's be smart, take care of ourselves. And the big thing is, at our ages, we got and heck, it could be some arthritis too. So let's not forget that. And so if the little things don't help it, the heat, the cold, and some ibuprofen or Advil, whatever it is you want to take, and you've taken the time off, then it's time to go see professional help. Go see a doctor. Okay? Well, that's it for the search for today on staying healthy, staying fit, and staying pain-free. And we know the search swing does it, but if the search swing is hurting it, it's time to take it to another level. The first level, and then level 2, get to your doctor if it doesn't go away. Okay? So for staying healthy and fit and playing golf, that's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.